Hey guys, BusterWolfy here, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be doing vlog number two. We last discussed about the pluses to vaping. Still doing it. It's becoming a lot easier to, quit smoking the, regular cigarettes. Although I did decide to do a different approach because I just couldn't do it all at once. Like, I don't know, I'm finding it really difficult to not want to have a regular cigarette. But, and anyways, it's still going good though. Like, I'm still cutting back significantly on smoking regular cigarettes. And I find myself smoking maybe 2 packs a week versus where I was like a pack and a half a day. So other than that, today I wanted to talk about something a little different. I wanted to talk about, basically what I said that I would last time, which was sleep paralysis and lucid dreams and astral projection, I guess. To me, it's been a difficult road because it's not something that anybody in my immediate family or my friends and family like deal with as often as I do. My current mindset on what it is exactly, it's really hard to explain. I mean, I know a lot of people have it, and a lot of people tend to try their best to explain it and give sound argument as to why it happens, and there's a lot of good insight on it as to what it is exactly and why it happens. But I'm just going to tell you about my experience, how it's going for me, how often it happens, and actually something that just popped into mind while watching a video by someone. I watched a couple videos, one from It's Her Look and another one from Peony Brown, who both shared their experience of sleep paralysis and shadow beings, and also out-of-body experience and sleep paralysis. So for me, it all started back when I was maybe 11 or 12, and I remember I was dreaming this really horrible dream. This guy sits down at a table. It's like one of those dingy, like off-white lights or whatever, and he has like an old apartment or whatever, and he sits at his table. He sees a note on the table, and he reads it, and when he reads it, I can kind of hear like it's being narrated, and it says, "Oh, sorry, don't worry about me, I'm in a better place now, and you're gonna be fine, like, so I love you very much, goodbye." And from the note, it didn't seem like it was something bad at first, but then after I watched him put his head down and start sobbing. So I thought that, oh, well, maybe something bad happened to, this, whoever wrote it. And all of a sudden, everything kind of fades to black in my dream, and this is pretty graphic. I mean, it's not graphic, but I mean, it's scary. So this noose comes down with this girl's head, this blonde girl, and her, like, I don't know, her neck is like chopped off or whatever, and her mouth is open and she's screaming, like this just really loud scream. And after she screamed, that's when I shot up. I woke up, I was like, oh shit, like, what's going on? Like, and this is when I'm like, 11 or 12. So that to me was really scary. And I had just started sleeping in one of the vacant rooms that we had in my grandparents' house. And after I woke up, I could hear the scream echoing throughout the hallway, because there's the door, and then there's a hall, and then that curves, and after it curves, that leads to like the living room, and then there's like a divider, and then there's a hallway, and then there's the kitchen, etc. So I hear the scream echoing throughout the hallway, and I'm amazed, because either this is just an echo from my mind, or I'm really hearing the scream. So I'm sweating, I'm like really scared, and So I go to the living room to sleep on the couch with my brother, and my brother's sleeping on the couch opposite the one that I decided to sleep on. But I just couldn't get comfortable, and I decided, well, this is really not working out for me, and I'm not one to. I mean, I don't. At the time, yeah, it was a big scaredy cat or whatever, but it's really bad for me, and I decided that it would be best if I went to go sleep with my grandparents. It's not something I brag about, guys. So, yeah, I'm a little scaredy cat. I need someone to hold me or whatever. But, it's just one of those things you do as a kid. You're scared, you have a nightmare, you go sleep with your parents or your grandparents. So, I go sleep with them, and when I go in the room, like, hey, I had a bad dream, can I sleep here? And of course, they let me. So I'm laying down in bed trying to go to sleep. So I'm laying down and I'm on my back and I'm like, oh my god, that was really scary. And I'm just trying to fall asleep, and all of a sudden I hear these footsteps. And I was like, oh, well, it couldn't be anything. There's no one awake. It's just me, my grandpa, my grandma, and my brother, and no one else at the house. So this is around maybe like between midnight and 2 or 3 in the morning. So I'm trying to fall asleep, and I hear the footsteps, and I hear them pretty prevalent, because obviously there's no other sounds in the house. So I am looking out the hall door, like, because where I'm sleeping in the bed, there's a door here, and then there's a door to my right, and the bed, and I'm facing this way, so I can see this door over here, and the door's open to let the light in. So I'm looking out the door, and all of a sudden I hear the footsteps coming closer, and sure enough, this big black figure, hooded figure, comes just walking really slow, and he just stands there, like he comes into the hall pass, and he's looking, like he turns and he faces my direction, and I know he's staring at me. You could just feel it when someone's looking at you, and I was just frozen, like I couldn't move. I had nothing to do, and I was like, oh my god, like, is this thing gonna kill me, or what the hell is going on? So I'm looking at it, and it's looking at me. It's just this big, tall, all black figure, pitch black. You can't see, red eyes or whatever, red, just sharp color, and I just know it's staring at me, and I can't move, and I try to move, and I can't do anything. So in my, the only thing I can do is think, and I just start thinking about, and this is one of the very first times that I actually, I want to be as unbiased as possible, because I'm trying to reach as many people as I can. So I'm not saying that this is, the reason that it went away or whatever, but I started thinking about Jesus Christ and God, and like, well, I've never prayed before, so let me, at least try and pray, because you do anything in that, like, what's it going to do to you? Is it going to kill you? You're going to try everything you can. So I start praying in my mind, thinking like, oh, Jesus Christ, save me, banish this whatever it is, and I'll be forever in your debt. I'll be in anybody's debt. But so sure enough, after about 2 seconds, because I did, blink my eyes, because to make sure it was real, and I blinked and blinked, and yeah, it was still there. But then once I started praying in my mind, it blew away, kind of like from top to bottom, like dust, like a sand. Like, picture like a stack of sand, very thin, and then just a gust of wind blows it from top to bottom. So it goes away. And that was my very first experience with, I think, sleep paralysis. A couple years later, I end up dreaming that same dream, but this time, when I woke up, I ended up waking up watching myself. Every single thing that I did from when I woke up. So it was like I was like floating or something, and I was looking at myself in the third person and watching myself get up and shoot up from after hearing the scream in the hallway. And then I go to, I watch myself walk to the living room, lay down there for a bit, can't get comfortable or still feel uneasy, and I watch myself go to my grandparents' room and then sleep with them. And then for some reason I walk to the washroom, which is where we keep our washer and dryer and where the side door is. And it's a very dark, room. It's got two doors to close so that, you could block out the sound or whatever. But I'm floating there and I see that figure, that black hooded thing, but it's standing there with if there was a jaw, if it had a mouth or whatever, its mouth was all the way to the floor. Like, picture like a cartoon almost. And it's just staring, well, not staring, but it's standing there with its jaw dropped. And then that's, where I believe where the scream came from. Like, it was screaming like a girl and like a blood curdling scream. And then I just see its jaw come up all the way up. Because that's what I assume it was, just because I know that it was screaming. And it's really scary. To me, that's one of the scariest things. That's just so, to me, that's malevolent. That's just, the overall presence of it is evil to me. So I watch it, and I watch it start walking around the hall, which is where I had heard the footsteps. And then I end up in the third person in the hallway behind it, watching it staring at me in the room. And that to me was the scariest time. I watched it blow away, and everything that happened was exactly to a T. So either it was just me dreaming that, or it really happened. I don't know. I'm not really sure. It's, to me, to this day, it's a mystery. But anyways, that was the worst time that it ever happened. But that also kicked off a lot of my sleep paralysis, a lot of my lucid dreaming, or what some people would call astral projection. But up until this day, and I never really had any nightmares since that day as bad as that, but I've had nightmares that in the dream I would be overcome with sleep paralysis and wake up not being able to move. So from that, I can only assume that, that kind of triggered that whole, just the whole experience in general, like of what happens, sleep paralysis and why I have it. Recently, I've had a couple last week and the week before and a couple nights ago. But it's something that I feel very strongly that it's what you kind of want it to be. I've talked to my friend about it, and he says that, when you experience sleep paralysis, it's really you in a half wake, half dream state. Personally, I do kind of believe that it's something that happens because your brain can't make sense of it. Like, your brain tries everything it can, and this is what my friend told me. He said, your brain tries to make sense of things that it doesn't understand. That's kind of why you see, like, objects in the dark, or the mind plays tricks on you, things like that. But personally, I don't know, I kind of feel like it's just, I don't know, it just feels like there's so much more to it, It feels like it's just some sort of, because when you lucid dream, and when I lucid dream, like I had explained in the last video, it's just this incredible feeling that when you can control your dream, it's kind of like you want to be able to take it further, Like, you want to be able to do all those impossible things that you're not able to do in reality. I guess you could even get addicted to it if you could control it. You'd just sleep forever. I know, I wouldn't, but, it's something to think about. But in watching these other videos, and keeping in mind what my friend had told me, I thought about the brain trying to make sense of, everything that happens in a half wake, half sleep state. And I thought, well, this girl said in the video, she said that an old man had reached out his hand, like basically, come with me. And she reached out her hand and she felt this strong magnetic force. And to me, and I was thinking about it, I really kind of feel like if that's your brain trying to make sense of it, I think also that if you reach out for that hand rather than not and try and avoid any type of scary things that you might encounter, if you reach out for that hand, that's your brain trying to make sense of a way for you to kind of keep going, to just dive deeper into it, either fly or go somewhere or do something just totally amazing that you know you can only do in a dream, like flying, etc. So to me, it's hard to do on your own. When I lucid dream and like I fly, I try and fly or whatever. I mean, it sounds stupid, I'm sorry, but I mean, I personally try and fly or whatever, go visit places I've never seen, and I try and make, tasks and things like that to, okay, well, tonight I'm going to try this if it happens. But it's really hard to remember that because, I mean, you're dreaming. You have to wake up in the dream or something in order to do it. But for me, I think if you're at that position where someone's holding out their hand to you and your brain's trying to make sense, hey, there's this guy here holding his hand out. If you grab his hand, that's you saying subconsciously that you want to go. You want to do these impossible things. I'm going to go with you. So help me make sense of that. That's what your brain's saying to you. I think personally. I mean, it's just a theory. It's not true. But I mean, if you happen upon it, try it. I mean, maybe it might work, maybe it might not. Because it's hard to do on your own. It's hard for you to try and force yourself to believe certain things that you just otherwise know you can't do in reality, let alone in a dream. It's hard for me to realize that I can fly in my dreams. But when it does happen and something or someone holds out their hand to me, which has happened once. I mean, it wasn't their hand, but they were like, oh, come with me, so either I follow them or not. And I followed. I was able to kind of think that, oh, this guy makes me want to do all these other things or whatever, or I know that if I go with him, I'll be able to do those things. So once it happens, yeah, I was able to fly, I was able to make the impossible possible. I've jumped far distances or whatever, running from people. Overall, I think that that's what it is. I mean, either you, and by rejecting taking that hand or following the person saying, hey, come with me during sleep paralysis or lucid dreaming, by saying no, you're saying that you essentially want to stay in your sense, whatever's in your sensory experience. Whatever you've experienced in reality is what you want to stay grounded to. And some of us just choose the other path. I mean, I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. It doesn't feel bad all the time. When it happens, yeah, sleep paralysis, you can't move. For me, when sleep paralysis happens, it's this like overwhelming. I have a precursor. My precursor is either hearing voices or a really kind of like a buzzing sound or vibration, and that vibration, it increases in increments or whatever. It increases or whatever, you know what I mean. So once it peaks, it's like this bzz, like this big giant overcoming of like feeling, this just buzz or vibration that just takes over, and then I just can't move. I can't even wake up and find out what the heck am I gonna do. Like, I can't move. And sometimes, yeah, it feels like there's this presence or there's this evil or whatever, just this overall, this general feeling of being unsafe. And that's what I think I don't like. I mean, I know I don't like it. Obviously, I don't want everybody wants to feel safe, but it's even scarier when you're alone and you're like, you can't move. And I feel so bad for the people who have it, and then they talk about this demon or witch or whatever sitting on top of them or telling them things or scratching their face, and they just have to deal with it. But there are other times when it's better, for me anyways, and I've probably because I've learned to sometimes just accept it and let it happen. And those times that I generally feel safe and okay enough to hold a hand or reach out for somebody's hand and go that next step. Because if you don't, you're missing out. I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, it's really fun. But anyways, if you want to know more about sleep paralysis, there's plenty of people who have experienced it. A lot of people experience it actually, so you're not alone. I actually made a Facebook page for it a while back, but I mean, it was just really more of like a personal thing in order to try and find answers. But if you'd like, you can check it out. It's facebook.com/sleep. I think it's sleep.paralysis.1. And, go ahead and like the page. And, there's a small but humble group of people who are on there who talk about their experiences too. And also some of them have it really bad to where they deal with it nightly. And I wish there was something that I could do for them except, give them comfort in their, my experience and sharing with them what I do in order to try and either combat it or, whatever. But, it's everybody has their own version of it, and it's really weird because this particular phenomena happens. It's been recorded all the way back to I think 400 BCE in a Chinese manuscript. It's been in like I think the 1400s or something by I wish I would have wrote it down, but I didn't. But you could look it up and look up the history. It goes back pretty far. There are paintings, there's everything, every kind of depiction possible of what people have experienced. And I mean, if it happens to you and you haven't seen any like demons or anything or witches scratching your face, then congratulations. You have, you're lucky. I'm lucky because I don't have that, and I've yet to encounter that except that one time with some like random figure or whatever, and that was the worst time, but it hasn't happened since. But some people have it worse off than others, and but yeah, other than that, like I mean I can talk more about it if you want. I can make it part 2 or whatever of this video if you want. I can talk about a couple other experiences that I have and other thoughts and theories that I have if you want to hear it. But feel free to just do that in the questions below, or leave a question. I'll get back to you. And or if you want to share your experience, go ahead and post it in the link in the comments, or you can like the Facebook page and then share your experience there. It gives you much more room to write, but that's a good thing because some people have long stories like I did. It took me 22 minutes. I'm sorry for the long video. But I wanted to explain a lot, and it's a real interesting thing to me. So, to those people who have it and suffer from it, I'm really sorry. I mean, I wish there was something I could do, and I wish there was something I could tell you, except to maybe just try and find a way to combat it. And that's really the only thing that you can do, because until there's some type of concrete evidence for what it is or why it happens, because it's not just, there are people that just sleep well throughout the night, but there are a lot of factors that could be contributing to as to why it happens. I mean, maybe it's a medication you're taking, maybe it's some traumatic event that I don't know, whatever. But either or, if you suffer from it, you have my prayers and blessing. I really hope that you can handle it and just hopefully one day overcome it. But for you that don't suffer from it, experiment, see what happens. I mean, well, actually I'm not gonna say what's the worst that could happen, because I don't know if you could actually get hurt or something. What happens in your dream state could happen in your waking state. I don't know. I've never heard of any cases like that. But if you have, feel free to share. But also, if you do suffer from it, I do urge you to, like the Facebook page and maybe post your story, because I find that letting people know, and this is the most people that I've ever let know in my life about this problem, because people think you're crazy. But I don't think anything's crazy. I don't think there's anything that anyone says is actually crazy. It's all rooted in something. Minus the people who think like, I'm not gonna make enemies here, but whatever. Anyway, so like the Facebook page is facebook.com/sleep.paralysis.1, or you could just search it for sleep paralysis. It's got a picture of a girl like all wrapped up or whatever. and then like the page and share your story. Everyone there is really supportive, and I'm there too. I'm the moderator of the page, and I really hope that, you know, we could find an answer for you guys. In the meantime, happy lucid dreaming, and I'm gonna get to some Let's Plays. Alright, take care, guys.